Hello, my name is Autumn. Welcome to a 20-minute upper body Pilates flow. You'll need a 2 pounds, a set of 2 pound weights, set of 4 pound weights, and you'll be good to go. We are going to start with just our upper body weight for now. So start seated, standing, wherever you want. I'm going to be seated because, you know, less is more with Pilates. Starting with our arms, it's going to feel a little bit funny at first, just a nice warm up. It'll get you to burn. So starting with bringing your arms into that hug or tree shape, I'm going to take my palms, face them back and up, pinching my shoulder blades together, and then bringing my fingertips back in line with my sternum. So exhale, press away. Inhale, bring it back in. It's like you're swimming through water, pressing something a little bit heavier weight in the air. Press through, bring it back in. Exhale, press away, bring it back in. All in all, we're going to go for everything in this series for about 20 seconds or 8 to 12 reps. So whatever you can get through is good. Now, if you are either in that kneeling position where I'm at, or you're standing, just think about growing tall from where you are. Ears up to the ceiling, belly button up to your spine. Think about pulling your last 2 ribs together. Think everything tight and engaged. Again, exhale as you press back. Inhale as you pull those arms in. Think about squeezing those shoulder tips together. And you can fit your shoulders in your back pockets. That's exactly where they go. So send it through, bring it back in. Send it through, bring it back in. If you have your own music playing, listening to whatever, then always move this to that music as well. Make it fun. So swim it back, bring it back in. Swim it back, bring it back in. In about 3, 2, we're gonna hold it out. Start to just pump those arms, super small. About the shape of a softball. Going around and around and around. Again, you got about 20 seconds here. And then just take that in the reverse. Back, 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 back. Again, think about your core being engaged, going tall from where you are. A few more seconds. Keep going. From here, you're going to just bring your fist into your shoulders. So just flick something away. Flick. Again, flick. Flick. All the way out. Out. You're pushing something heavy away from you. You need nothing to do with what you're pushing away. And just warm everything up. Get that movement through your wrists, through your fingertips, through your shoulders. And then staying engaged through your lats and the shoulder blades are still coming to touch. All the way out and out. Good. One for about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring your arms overhead, pressing your hands all the way back down. Arms overhead, bring it all the way back down. Arms are probably starting to feel a little bit heavy at this point. So just think about your breathing, controlling everything through your breath. Reach overhead, swim back through. Reach overhead, press those palms down to your side, take that reach. Bring it back in. Take that reach. Bring it back in for 5. Last 3. And 2. And 1. From here, we're going to go out, down, and around. Out, down, and around. So being mindful here that you're not letting those ribs flare as you take that movement. So you're just moving from your arms. Core staying still. Staying strong through your lower half. We'll take this in reverse. About 5. 2 more, and 1. Reverse going out, down, and around, up, down, and around. So think about your fingertips staying in line with your sternum. Arms are definitely burning here. If you need more of a burn, pretend you're moving through something heavy. Mud, sand, water. You need the 3. Reaching up, dropping down, bringing it back in. Reaching up, dropping down, bringing it back in. Going for about 3. Last 2. So now that we got our arms moving, arms are warm, we're gonna start with our core. So start seated on your mat. However, starting to find a seat on your sit bones, your heels are actually in front of you. Bring your 2 pound weights by your side. We're going to eventually use those. So you're gonna start to find that C curve. Arms can come out in front of you, that's the more advanced option. Here or behind your head. I'm gonna go with that reach so I can keep my fingertips reaching long. I'm gonna send my hips forward as my shoulders roll back, going down bone by bone, letting my gaze go up to the top of the ceiling. Talking my chin back into my chest, gaze goes towards my knees, squeeze it all the way back up. So I'm going all the way back, bone by bone, gaze goes up, tuck your chin to your chest, squeeze left, going all the way back, taking that reach, looking forward, squeeze left. I'm going to start to advance this just a little bit. I'm going to pull my thumbs into my shoulders, reach overhead, squeeze left. Before you need to, realize you have a little bit more space. I'm gonna roll all the way back. Think thumbs to shoulders, take that reach, squeeze left. Now I'm gonna take it to a hinge, so I'm still gonna take articulation on my way down. Pull my thumbs to my shoulders like I'm taking that bicycle. Take that reach overhead, hinge, everything's gonna lift as a unit. Going all the way back. Again, this is where we get to that count of about 8 to 12. So whatever you can do, go for it. Try to err on the higher side of reps. Thumbs to shoulders, reach, squeeze, lift. Along all the back, we go for about one more here. Reach overhead, squeeze, lift. I'm gonna come back halfway, I'm gonna hold it, I'm going to bring my obliques into the equation here. I'm gonna take that sweep back with my left hand, twitch through my obliques, my gaze follows wherever my spine goes. Squeeze left, over and to the right. Squeeze left. As far back as you wanna go is up to you. Some days it might look different than the others, and that's okay. And with every reach back, and you come a little bit further back, take that sweep and twist, gaze follows. Maybe one more each side. And last one. Bring it all the way in. Now this is where I'll take my 2-pound weights. I'm here. I have these 2-pound weights. It is now time for them. So we worked on that roll back. You found your sit bones. I'm going to find that seat one more time. You got 2 pounds, no pounds at all, whatever you need. I'm going to take my arms here. I'm going to start to just work through my back. I'm going to squeeze in, send it back up. Pull my right in, send it back up. Just taking those small rows. From right and to left, from right to left. Pay attention to your core here. Belly button's tucking into your spine. Those ribs stay close together. Shoulders stay down away from your ears, not rounding forward. And again, a way I always think to stay tall is my ears are reaching up to the ceiling. Going to go one more each side, or 2, and 1. Lift it all the way back up if you need to. I'm just going to reset myself. I like that extra core work. I'm going to pull my fist into my shoulders, think about that bicep curl, extend it forward. And my fist wrapping around that weight, extend forward. All the way in, and extend. All the way in, and extend. Feels a little nice and easy. Take your elbows, lift them a little bit higher, try to be 90. Elbows are parallel to the front of you. Extend, bring it back in. Extend, bring it back in. Again, up as 8 to 12. I'm going to go about 2 more. Last one, pull it in. I'm going to take one arm overhead, bring it back in, reach, bring it back in. Just taking that overhead reach one at a time. Overhead. Now paying attention, not letting those ears come any closer to your shoulders. Taking that reach and down for 5, 4. Keep your heels planted into the mat as I'm sure they're starting to feel a little bit heavy. And 1. Now I'm going to take both. Reach and in. Reach and in. Reach and in. Don't worry, you're going to look down after this. For 5 and 4 and 3. I kept it narrow just to keep those shoulders safe. And 1. And roll it all the way back. I'm here. Now you can either keep those heels planted or bring them into tabletop. Maybe even extend them if you'd like. I'm just going to put my legs in tabletop. Make sure my shins are parallel to the floor. I'm going to take that reach overhead. So I worked from my back to my shoulders, biceps. Now we're going to go into those triceps. I'm going to keep my thumbs facing in toward one another. I'm going to bend my thumbs to the base of my head. Squeeze left. Bend it in. Squeeze left. Bring it in. Squeeze left. All the way in. Squeeze up. For 6 and 5. And I'm going to continue on after these last 3. I'm just going to add on 2 and make sure that tailbone is heavy into the mat. The next time I lift those arms up, I'm going to straighten that right leg. Bring it back in. Left follows. So I'm just alternating that leg reach for every tricep rest. For 6 and 5. Last 4 and 3. You got 2 and 1. I'm going to hold it up. Take that reach. Move my right arm, my right leg in, send it back out. 5, 4. How low can you send that leg while keeping that back planted onto the mat for 2 and 1. Try to go 5 on that other side. 5. Last 4 and 3. You got 2 and 1. And all the way in, I'm planting my heels down, sit myself up. And I'm going to switch out to these 5-pound weights. Since I'm feeling nice and warm, got some of that weight action, you know how to move now. We're going to grab those 5s. If you want to stick with the 2s, that's okay. I'm going to start with all the back, stay in that position. Again, heels going to stay heavy to the mat. If you want to keep that lower core working the whole time, bring those knees stacked right over those hips, shins parallel to the floor. I'm going to rest with my heels down. I'm going to take my elbows out wide. I'm going to take that wide chest rest reach up bring it back in. Reach up, bring it back in. All the way up, bring it back in. All the way up, bring it back down. Squeeze the top, pull it back in. Really think about pulling your ribs together. I know I say it all the time, but I mean it when I say it. Tailbone is pressing heavy into the mat. Take that reach, bring it back in. If you do have your heels lifted, as you pull down, I'm going to take that tap as I lift up, pull everything in, and switch it out. You have those lighter weights, so we're going to go for those higher reps. When you go for that higher rep count, I really want you to just focus on form. We can get into that heavy stuff later, but while you're here, let Pilates guide you into what you're doing next. Whether it be weightlifting, Pilates, running, Pilates is going to take you to the next level and everything else. So to make sure you take your pelvis, make sure it's not swaying from right to left. It's all staying lifted. And of course, we're going to sneak some core in here and some glutes. So the next time I come down, I'm going to plant my heels down with me. My toes are forward, knees are stacked over that big and second toe. Weight is wrapped, my fists are wrapped around that weight. I'm trying to find that articulated bridge, rolling all the way up, squeezing the top, articulating, rolling right back down. Again, I'm pressing my arms down into the floor as I roll up, articulate, squeeze back down. Making sure your heels and toes are in line, knees tracking over that big second toe, rolling all the way up, squeezing at the bottom, rolling all the way up, rolling all the way back down. Take that nice big lift, bring it back, and I'll start to alleviate some of that weight that I have in my upper body as I lift them, then my right arm over, roll back in, lift, left arm follows, bring it back in. So now you have that lower half and that upper half working together, just going from 8 to 12, and then we'll move on. All the way up, bring it back in, all the way up, bring it back in. Last one, plant those hips back down. I'm gonna open my palms up. I'm gonna put a slight bend in the elbows. I'm a little straighter. You have those arms, a bit more challenging, more of a bend, a little bit nicer. I'm gonna take my palms together, reach overhead, drop it back open. Squeeze, bring it back down, reach at the top, bring it back down. Again, if you liked that extra lower half work, keep those knees stacked. Very little space creeping in between your back and the mat. As I drop, bring it back in. As I drop, leg straightens, bring it back in. Arms open out to that T shape. Leg straightens, pull that knee back over that hip. You're finding length here. The thing about Pilates, you don't have to be flexible or even that mobile or stable. You just have to be willing to find length. So how far can you reach those fingertips? How far can you reach that toe? Can you hold it? Squeeze back in. 1 and 2. Plant those heels back down. I'm going to keep wearing out my chest here. As my arms drop to that T, my hips are going to lift. Arms come to that T, hips lift, sink it back. I'm just going to let that tailbone hover. I don't want to plant it back down. Hands reach to fire, which is a good thing. You always want to get that glute work anywhere you can. Arms come up to that T, hips lift, bring it back in. Out to that T, bring it back in. Now I'm going to start to take that alternating march. As my arms drop, press off that left, right heel. Plant everything back down. Hips lift. Opposite leg comes up. Bring that right heel up. And dip back down. Just alternating right to left. Now think about my chin staying tucked into my chest. If it keeps my neck in line with my spine. Whenever you're moving, your neck is always a part of your spine. There, 1. It's just going to keep you safe. For 2. And 1. I'm going to send my hips down. I'm just going to set that 4-pound off to the side. I'm going to bring that 5-pound over. I'm going to pick my hips up. My hips are going to stay here. They're stable. Knees are forward, toes are forward. Hips are in line with one another. I'm going to take this weight, bring it over my head. I'm going to squeeze through these pretty muscles right here. I always call them your bra strap muscles. So it wraps around there. Your lats, squeeze back over your sternum. Weight comes back behind head. Squeezing through these muscles right here. Bring that weight back over your sternum. Trying to sway through your low back. Here's not where you want to be. I was thinking about bringing my hips toward my rib cage. Squeezing through my lats. Weight comes back over my chest. All the way back. Squeeze it back in. Bring it back in. All the way back. And squeeze. for 4, last 3. Again, you're just getting to 8 to 12 for 2, and 1. So we're going to all the way back down. Take that weight, set it off to the side, and give our arms a little bit of break before we stand up. We're going to do just a little bit more core work. So I took the weight, set them off to the side. We'll grab them as soon as we stand up. I'm going to have a Coach Madalene band. They're the best. I'm going to start with the lighter one. The lighter one. It's going to go over the tops of my knees. You don't have to have this, but if you do, great. It's going to add lots of benefits, and you can use them literally, add them to any part of the workout, and you'll be game. I'm going to move the weight all the way back. I'm going to find dead bug shape one more time. So my knees, side over my hips, shins parallel to the floor, side forward, you know where to go. I'm going to bring my palms into my knees. I'm going to press my knees into my palms and my palms into my knees. So I find that opposition right there. Again, I really want my chin tucked into my chest. Trying to press my chin into the floor. Probably not looking cute, that's okay. I'm keeping my neck safe. My belly button's pulled into my spine. I'm going to find that pull there. I'm going to keep my knees to my knees, start to hip, lift my head, neck, and shoulders. So I feel everything engaged. As I press, I'm going to keep that tension there the whole time. I'm going to let my right leg go long, bring it back in. I'm finding that press, left leg follows. Bring it back in. Alternating right and to left. This is where if your neck starts to hurt, keep your chin into your chest. Gaze to the top of your knees. Now I'm just going to take that dead bug shape all the way. I'm going to shoot my right arm out as my right leg goes in. Bring it back in and switch. And switch. Keep that alternating for 6, 5. Again, you're lengthening 4. So you move short here, create a short core. We can lengthen, make those muscles reach. Reach, reach, reach. Bring it back in. Reach, reach, reach. Bring it back in. 1 more each side, 2. And 1. Reset yourself if you need to. I'm going to take my palms now to the top of my shins. Everything's going to start as kind of an explosion. I'm going to press my shins against my palms down into my shins, and I'm keeping my back flat onto the mat, my gaze to the tops of my knees. Everything's going to explode. I'm going to wrap my arms around, pull my knees back into my chest. Explode, wrap around, bring it back in. Explode, wrap around, bring it back in. I'm finding that pull. I'm pushing as much as I can until I have no choice but to boom, explode, bring it back in. All the way out, around, bring it back in. I'm going to do 2. And 1, last one. I'm going to bring my hands to protect the back of my neck. I'm holding here. I'm going to take my legs, start to scissor them out. Right to left. If you're having a hard time in this position, keeping your back still on the mat. You can do this as an opportunity to a tap. So it's alternating right to left. Now, the goal here, super easy, to take that tap. You're taking your knee away from your hip. Bringing it back in. Knee goes away from your hip. Bring it back in. Or you're lengthening. Reach. Reach, beat, beat, beat for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm here. Now I'm seated up. I'm on my sit bones. Find yourself back in the center of your mat. I'm going to find that secret of kind of ending where I started. I'm taking that lift. I have that band on still. I'm going to take my arms behind my head or reach or into your chest. I'm going to let that reach as it's a little bit more challenging. Take the alternating toe tap, bring it in, and squeeze. Take that tap, and squeeze. Tap, and squeeze. Try to think about your lower core here. Start to pull from those low abs instead of the tops of those thighs. For 6, and 5, 4. We're just going to try to burn out here. And 1, I'm going to glue my ankles together. Can both go, and both lift. Both go, and both lift. Now I'm going to take it back to that C curve. I'm going to pull my shoulders back as my hips fall forward, bring it back in. Take everything away, bring it back in. Add everything back together, pull everything apart for 5 and 4. Last 3 and 2 and 1. Plant those heels down, and now we'll take everything standing. So I'm going to keep this band on as I stand up to do legs. But you can keep the lighter band on. I'm going to go ahead and put on a more medium band just so I can get more work to my legs, even though the arms is the focus today. I always want to give my legs a little bit of love too. So I'm going to take this light band, set it off to the side, and I'm just going to go up 1 band to this one. Rosier 1, set it away, send yourself all the way up. Same thing, band goes over the tops of those knees. That way it forces me to really press. Instead of my knees going in over my ankles, I'm pressing and rolling out. So I'm literally working the whole time. I'm gonna take my 2-pound weights. Again, I really wanna focus more on quality over quantity, especially do this more than once. Grab those 5-pound weights next time, even go up to a 10-pound weight next time. Start smaller, build your weight up. So I'm gonna start with a slight bend in my knees. My weight's about 60-40, so about 60% of my weight forward, about 40% my heels, hips underneath the rib cage. Even as you're standing, those ribs come together, shoulders go down your back. I'm gonna try to take that bicep curl, palms in, send it back down, palms in, send it back down. Again, yeah, you're picking up 2 pounds, but think about picking up 2 buckets of water. Pull it in and extend, pull it in and extend. We're gonna get back to that movement where we're going about 20 seconds each thing that we do. So pull in, drop it back down for 5. So you have a slight bend through the backs of my knees. Try not to ever hyperextend anything. We're gonna keep that blood flow. And 1, start to reach overhead, bring it back in. Reach overhead, bring it back in. I'll turn to the side so you can see where my form is. Hips are tucked, I'm reaching out in front of me, pulling back in. Take that reach, squeeze it back in, send it out, bring it back in, all the way out. Once I get to about 20 seconds, I'm gonna add those 2 moves together. So I'm gonna curl in, reach overhead, drop everything back down. Curl in, take that reach, bring everything back down. Again, you're not just curling and extending overhead. You're pulling your palms to your shoulders. How far can you extend the arms away from you before you drop everything back and down? Curl in, take that reach, bring it back and down. Curl in, take that reach, bring it back and down. Got about 4 more seconds here. 2. And 1. I'll come back and face you. And take my elbows, hug them by my side. Send my fingers out to my corner. Take my heels a little bit wider, up right underneath my shoulders. Keep that tuck. Go out, squeeze it back in. Go out, squeeze it back in. Again, you've got about 20 seconds. If you're listening to music, same thing. Play with the music as you move. 2 and 1. Now I'm going to take my right arm out. Left arm's going to reach overhead. Bring it back in and switch. You can find a little bounce if you'd like to. Taking that reach. My palms are facing up the whole time. So the movement of my palms does not shift. Going for 5, 4, last 3, and 2, and 1, and all the way in. I'm gonna take that serve out, open that serve, close that serve, squeeze it back in, open out, open it, close it, bring it back in, open it out, open it, close it, bring it back in. Keep my elbows hugging tight on my side. As I open up my palms, pinch those shoulder blades together, bring them back in, hug my elbows in tight. Take that serve, open the serve, close the serve, pull it back in. Go through just a couple more. 2, and 1. Now I'm taking my palms, flip them in. Again, I would like to end how I start. So open it up, bring it back in, open it up, bring it back in. I'll keep my palms facing me the whole time. The challenge here is to keep the height of your hands right in line with your sternum, right in line with your chest, without them dropping. Now I'm even going to correct myself here. As you open up those arms, try not to let everything flare out. Keep everything close. Just opening from your arms, bringing it back in, opening from your arms, bringing it back in for 5, last 4, and 3. You got 2. I'm going to hold it open. Take small circles, small and small. Small, trying to work from those rotators of your arms. Forearms are going to do a little bit of work. That's good. Now, if you feel like you're pulling a lot from your neck and traps, that's in your range of motion. Pull your elbows in a little bit closer. You don't have to be so far out. Pull everything in. Focus on this particular muscle groups. Kind of leave your neck and shoulders out of it. Now go back and back, back. Keep pressing for 8, 7, 6, 5. Last 2 and 1 here. I'm going to go over, bring it back in, over, bring it back in, take that reach, bring it back in, keep a slight bend through those elbows still. Think about your lower half, are your hips tucked, make sure you're not swaying through your low back. Weight is 60-40. You're pressing your legs into that band for 2 and 1. I'm going to hug that tree, go over my head, send it back down, hug, overhead, open that hug, close that hug, go overhead, drop it open, bring the fists back together, Take that reach, drop it open, bring it back in line with your sternum, reach over the crown of your head, drop it back down. Go for just a few more seconds, and we'll take that reverse. Really focus on that stability in your core. 2, and 1, reverse. Going up overhead, bring it in front of you, opening it back up, reaching up, bring it in front of you, opening it back up, going for about 5 more seconds, getting 2 to 3 more reps within those 5 seconds. Last one, all the way in. So we have this band on while we have it on. Let's not waste a second with it. I'm gonna take my heels a little bit wider than my hips. We're gonna add on a little bit of legs as we take our arms to finish out. I'm gonna sink my weight now back into my heels. That way I'm always targeting my glute, my hamstrings. My weight's gonna come into my shoulders, palms are facing in toward one another. I'm gonna take that sink back, weight goes back into my heels. As I do so, I'm gonna take that reach overhead. Squeeze the elbows back in, press those hips up. Hips go back, arms go overhead, squeeze, lift. Again, you're taking that reach, tailbones reaching back, those arms are reaching long overhead. Check out for your shoulders. I know you're getting tired. Should last a bit of work. Keep those shoulders away from your ears. Lock down your back, sink it back, and lift. Inhale as you reach back, exhale to stand. Exhale to stand. Inhale, sink it back, exhale to stand. Can you reach any further? Sink back a little bit lower than squat. Pick yourself up. Going for just a couple more seconds. Last one. I'm gonna hold at that lowest point. I'm gonna find a pulse through my lower half. As I do so, I'm gonna pull my elbows in, reach overhead. Pull my elbows in, reach overhead. Finishing it for about 30 seconds. Make this your longest push. Keep pressing. Make it a little bit bigger than that pulse. Almost all the way up, almost all the way down, but not quite both. Keep going. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Send it all the way up. Take your weights, send them off by your side. I'm gonna take that band off to my side. Take a second to stretch, second to cool down. I'm gonna go for a little bit of hamstring stretch, a little bit of butterfly stretch, hold down my arms. Take the hips back, chest falls forward, toes lift. Gaze goes back down to the top of my knee. Send it back up, and just switch. So just stretching everything out. Arms are reaching forward in front of you, hips are falling back still. Take that stretch. Just gonna go 1 more each side. Last one. Come all the way up and send it all the way back down. Bring the soles of my feet together. Knees fall out to the side. Take a little forward fold as I press my elbows down the tops of my knees. And give my arms a little bit of a second to stretch here. Reach the arm across my chest, find that pull. Open up to the back of my shoulder blade into my tricep. Arm again to my tricep. Pull my fingertips to the base of my neck and pull. And keep that hip lifted as you do so. Shake out your wrist if you need to. Switch everything to the other side. Always give the same amount of stretching both sides. Take that pull with that elbow up. Open up the back of that shoulder. Take my fingertips to the back. Find that pull. Nice little side bend stretch. Circle all the way around and the other side. Taking all the extra moments that you need to stretch. Other than that, thank you so much for spending 20 minutes doing a Pilates class with me. Thanks for visiting Coach Madalene's app.